Sonic Generations is going on sale for £1. You can now watch Inception in Fortnite. New information on the upcoming MMORPG New World. Book companies threaten to destroy internet history. And I am melting. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Josh Strife, and this is Daily Strife, the bite-sized show all about geeky gossip and nerdy news. It is boiling hot today in England, so I've given up trying to style my hair. Let's see what's been going on in the world of nerd today. What were you doing 1 month after Dark Souls came out and 1 week before Skyrim came out? The correct answer, of course, is you were learning to parry Gwyn while hoping that Skyrim was going to be good. But for some of you, the answer will be you were playing Sonic Generations. Now, seriously, releasing between Dark Souls and Skyrim, two of the best fantasy games ever made, seems like it's a bad decision, but we all know that Sonic Team back in those days weren't exactly making good decisions. For some reason they decided to move away from the brilliant 2D Sonic formula toward 3D, and as history has shown us, that was a mistake. Do you remember Sonic Battle 2? Do you remember how bad that game was? Well, Sonic Generations came out 10 years after Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, or Sonic Battle Adventure 2. Sonic 2 Battle Adventure? Battle. Sonic 2 Adventure. 2 Sonic, 2 Battle, 3 Adventure. Whatever the title for that stupid game is. Thankfully, they had learned from their mistakes, and by all accounts, Sonic Generations was actually quite good. If you want to go back and experience it, it is on sale on Steam right now for £1 or $1, depending on where you live. That's 95% off, and that's probably worth it. I think right now we can all agree, though, that the Sonic games, with the release of Sonic Mania, have stepped away from 3D and returned to their 2D roots, and that is definitely a good thing. Inception is a fantastic film. 8th of July 2010, Chris Nolan gave the world a brilliant, psychological, visually stunning epic. It's about going into someone's dream and implanting an idea, the process of inception, so that when they wake up they believe it's their idea, and then they go and do the thing that you kind of wanted them to do. And in the film there's dreams within dreams and levels within levels, and it's just a fantastic, interesting blend of psychology and unreality. It's an excellent film. Go and watch it if you haven't. So let's say you had to choose one video game to pair with Inception. What would you go with? Something psychological like Soma or Amnesia? Maybe something action about choices like Deus Ex? Maybe something trippy like, Sanity's Requiem from back in the day? Well, they've chosen Fortnite. If you log into Fortnite tomorrow and you drop down onto the Party Royale Island, you can stare at your screen, watching your character stare at a screen that's showing Inception. You can watch the film within the game. I suppose the screen within a screen is kind of an analogy for the dream within a dream, but I still don't quite get it. If Inception is blocked in your region of the world for any reason, you'll be shown a different Chris Nolan film. And they're all pretty good, to be honest. My main question is why? Inception's on Netflix. You can sit on your sofa in the comfort of your own home and watch Inception. You don't need to join a battle royale and then watch Inception on a smaller screen on your smaller PC screen. The worst part of any cinema experience is the other people. If you could sit in a massive room all by yourself with a massive sound system and a huge silver screen, brilliant, that'd be a great experience. The other people ruin it. People on their phones, people talking, children in general. That's what ruins the film experience. So why, when you have access to Inception on any other streaming service, would you choose to log into a game with other people and watch a film on a smaller screen? I admire what they're doing. I can understand that it's going to be great for advertising and it's going to be interesting to talk about. But it seems like the worst possible way to actually watch a film. So, not for me, but if you really want to see Inception and you've got Fortnite but not Netflix, log in tomorrow, give it a go, let me know what it was like. If you didn't know, Amazon are making an MMORPG and they are hyping it as the next big thing. New World has been in development for several years now, and it's actually gone through some major changes along the way. It was originally penned as a full PvP, full death, full looting game. And then the beta test went out, the results came back in, and it turns out people don't like full death, full PvP, full looting games, which is something I've been saying for many years now. So the game changed its development course to heavily PvE despite having no actual PvE content. I've been saying this for a while now. The concept of full loot, full danger PvP is fantastic. It sounds dangerous, it sounds exciting, it sounds risky, and that's because it is. But the reality of this situation is, more often than not, you are not the hunter, you are the hunted. The idea of one unkillable player going to kill many other players means that you likely will not be the unkillable player, you'll be the one being killed a lot, and that's not fun for the majority of people. Full PvP games are very niche. They do exist, but they aren't the mass appeal of World of Warcraft, of Guild Wars 2, and I don't think Amazon are going to worry about a niche market. They want mass appeal. So New World is likely to be another standard MMORPG, but we do have some more information about it now. We do know more about the crafting system. Now, anyone watching my MMORPG historical chronicle, Our Virtual World, A History of the MMORPG, will know the first MMORPG to use a crafting system was Legends of Future Past, a text-based MUD, and every game from then on pretty much copied it and has tried to improve in one way or another. So here's what Amazon have explained about New World in their blog. Crafting will require reagents, such as smithing needing metals and herblore or arcana needing plants or magical things. Alright, pretty standard so far. The better you get at crafting, the more you'll produce from the same ingredients. So a high-level herbalist will make 2 potions out of the same ingredients that a low-level herbalist would only be able to make 1 out of. I quite like that. That's quite a nice touch. That shows experience and less waste as you get more used to what you're doing. Now, one nice touch is to use more materials when making an item or a weapon or a piece of armor to increase the chance that that item or weapon or piece of armor ends up being better. For example, if you wanted to make a silver sword, you'd use 1 bar of silver. That silver sword may be made with something called a gem slot. Gems are these things that you put into weapons to make them better. But if you use more than 1 bar of silver to make that sword, the chance of it having a gem slot will increase. This is a lovely balance of risk versus reward. You're risking more crafting materials, but you're potentially being rewarded with a better item. So I quite like that idea. Now, I'm watching New World with cautious optimism. I was there, hyped up for Guild Wars 2. I was hyped up for Elder Scrolls Online. I was listening to the music. I was reading the blogs, and I was ready for it to kill World of Warcraft. Both of them came. Both of them were good games, but they didn't quite deliver on what they promised to do. Elder Scrolls combat, I feel, is a lacking feature because every weapon feels similar, and Guild Wars 2's combat feels like you're fighting with balloons. I'm not a massive fan of either of them, so I'm watching New World with cautious optimism. I hope it's going to be good, and I will definitely play it and review it, but as always, let's be reserved. On to the big story of today. I do a lot of research on the internet. Most academics do. And because of this, research archives to me are more valuable than gold. History being chronicled is vital. And anything that collects and then safeguards a large amount of historical knowledge is usually a good thing. We need culture to survive, and storing things digitally is much more effective than storing them physically. You can fit 1 book within a book, and you can fit thousands within a microchip. Now, one such storage facility is the Internet Archive. It's a non-profit online repository of millions of books, movies, computer games, general bits of software, and they store everything in order to preserve history. Now, if you've ever heard of or used the Wayback Machine, you've used the Internet Archive. That is actually the massive repository that it pulls from. The Wayback Machine, by the way, lets you see how websites looked on a specific date years ago. It's fascinating to go and use. You can see what your favorite websites looked like, 5-10 years ago. It is amazing. It is a massive bastion of digital history. Now, during the COVID-19 pandemic, they actually released millions of free ebooks to make sure people had something to read and something to do. That was a classy move, Internet Archive. Thank you for giving people access to knowledge they would normally not have access to, especially with the libraries being closed. Now, unfortunately, it's being sued by a conglomerate of book companies, including global powerhouse HarperCollins and Penguin. Now, they have called the Internet Archive digital piracy on a massive scale, and they're suing to have all of their private property expunged from the records. The problem with that is if the lawsuit is successful, the Internet Archive will lose the rights to anything they don't legally own, and this includes 16,000 old, no longer supported PC games and 6,900 MS-DOS games. This is a non-profit. It doesn't collect them in order to sell them. It collects them in order to preserve them, in order to keep them. Old hardware, like PCs, will deteriorate over time. Software becomes corrupted. You can't play old games all the time. This is the only thing we have that's actually storing them and preserving them for future generations. If we lose all the old stored MS-DOS games that they've got, we may never be able to have them, find them, or play them again. This is a preservation of gaming history. Now, I'm against piracy, that's fine, but this isn't piracy. This is storage and preservation of culture. It's a digital museum of the arts. When a video game runs its course, ends its life, and the gaming company responsible for it no longer want to take care of it and don't care about it, the Internet Archive says, hey, we'll have it. We'll take care of it. We'll make sure it's okay, and if people want to see what it looked like in the future, there you go. There's all the data saved. A lot of people have actually compared this to the burning of the library at Alexandria, and I can kind of see where their comparison is going, because it's the destruction of knowledge for the sake of private gain, which I am completely against. These book companies are doing fine. Allow the internet to record and chronicle culture. I think this lawsuit is an awful idea. Thanks for watching, as always. It's an absolutely boiling sunny day over here in England, so I'm going to enjoy it while it lasts. I'll see you guys tomorrow as usual. If you're a fan of any of my projects, either Daily Strife or Our Virtual World, A History of the MMORPG, consider checking out the Patreon link below. Your support is the only thing that makes all these projects possible. Liking, subscribing and sharing means so much to me. So thanks, and as always, have a great day.